Hey y'all, welcome to Criminally Creative, a channel about my various creative endeavors. Today is Saturday, February 15th, 2025, and this is episode 78. I had to look, forgot. My name is Susan. You can find me on Ravelry as Legal Eagle and on Instagram as Criminally Creative 1, the number 1. If you're new here, I appreciate you coming back. Nope. If you're new here, you are not coming back. If you are new here, I appreciate you checking me out. And if you are returning, I appreciate you coming back. I got to get my brain in gear. This is a channel primarily about cross stitch, which is my primary craft these days. But I also usually show a little bit of knitting, and sometimes I show some other crafts that I dabble in, or if I feel like doing something different. So today will be mostly cross stitch with just a little bit of knitting thrown in. And we will move on. First up in hearsay is not, biggest thing is I went to the Barefoot Needle Art Retreat last weekend. Excuse me, that was a lot of fun. Got to hang out a lot with one of my best friends, Peggy. Also saw Anne and Julie, Angela. I can't name everybody. Amy and Memory, who are the owners of Barefoot Needle Arts. And lots of people that I had met before. Also met some new friends. Yvonne was somebody at my table that I had not met before, and several other people. Yeah, if I talk to you a lot, or you consider yourself a friend, I'm sure I do too. I just can't think of everybody's name at the moment. That's really about it for big events. My father's health is somewhat stable. They're running some tests and stuff. He's at home. But they're doing some tests over the next couple weeks to try to figure out some of what's going on. But so far, nothing alarming occurring, really. And otherwise, just work is picking up and busy. My brain is scattered. I don't know if it's age or premenopause or what. I'm having a harder time this session getting my brain fully back into gear and doing the ping pong between tasks that I have to do daily. So I'm just feeling it a little bit more this year. We're going to call it age. Hopefully that's all. Sorry, I had my watch set for something earlier and it just went off. So anyway, that was a rambly way of saying everything's fine. This morning, I actually went to Pittsboro, North Carolina, about 20 minutes from me. Cute little town, if you haven't been. There's a newish, I'm not sure exactly how long it's been there. It's called Checker Tulip Studio, which is kind of a sewing studio. She teaches classes. I think she also teaches some like beginning knitting and stuff, but primarily sewing. And I took a pajama pant making class this morning. I do not have pajama pants to show you. I'm not going to show you today because we had to make some modifications for the fact that I'm short and wide. And so I didn't quite finish mine. I've got to do a little bit more work on them at home, but when I get them done, I will show them to you. I took the class. I kind of know how to sew in the general sense. I took the class more for kind of like a little bit of garment making, reading a pattern, that sort of stuff, because I've never really done much pattern type making, clothing wise. So, and then I met my husband at a little place. There's like a outdoor area that's got like a brewery and a couple little restaurants and some little shops and stuff. I met him there and we had lunch, and then I came home. So, I wanted to get this recorded, and while that is processing and uploading, I've got to go clean out our guest room because we ordered a new bed and mattress about 3 weeks ago, and I got the call today that is ready to be delivered. So I've got to call and schedule that for sometime this week. But in order to do that, I've got to get the guest room cleaned out so we can move the bed upstairs to the guest room to make room for the new bed upstairs in our bedroom. So, but anyway, so let's get into the crafting. I do have one verdict. Actually, before I get into my stuff, I had a couple things sitting here I was going to show you real quick that aren't stashing for retirement, but I just thought I would show you. I showed you at one point some floss drops my husband was making me because I got him a 3D printer for Christmas. Well, he was getting a 3D printer. That was his Christmas gift. We don't do surprise gifts anymore. We do, this is what I want for Christmas that's out of the realm of what I would normally spend on myself. So here's what I want for Christmas. Anyway, yesterday was Valentine's Day. We don't normally do Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is not a big deal to me. It's what I call a Hallmark holiday. If Valentine's Day is your thing, that's great. It's just never been a big deal for me. So we don't even really traditionally do cards. We ate dinner out last night, but that was because I didn't feel like cooking. I am not, while fresh flowers I like, most of the time I feel like they're a waste of money because they die. I'd rather have a plant than a flower, but I suck at keeping plants alive. So anyway, but my husband has enjoyed playing with this 3D printer. He printed me a couple things for Valentine's Day that I thought were cute that I would show you. So I got this little heart with little wobbly legs, and it's flat on the bottom, so it like sits on the shelf with the little legs dangly off the end. And I mean, what's amazing to me is the 3D printer prints these segments. I mean, already put together. It prints them with like some extra little pieces that hold it straight, and then you break them off and they're segmented. So you don't have to assemble anything. And then he made me a rose. So this is my kind of rose. I don't have to water it. It lives forever. I do not have a green thumb. So peace lilies I can keep alive because they wilt, and that means they need water, and you put water in them and they perk back up in an hour. I do have 2 Christmas cactuses, one at home and one at work, that I have managed to keep alive. The one at work is doing much better because the housekeeper that works in my building that does my floor takes care of it for me. I did not ask her to. She offered. She told me not to touch it. So that one does much better than the one at home, where my problem is I forget to water them. So anyway, rambling enough, we'll move into the crafting. I do have one verdict this time, and that is this pattern, which is October's Party by Little House Needleworks. Did I get that right? Yeah, Little House Needleworks. I started this on September 23rd of 2023. I did it on 40 count Atomic Ranch in the color Blue Ridge. I did use all the called for colors. I mean, all the called for colors are in there. However, I changed most of the words. Most of the words were supposed to be in the color of this stem, but I changed them to Week Style Works Chesapeake because I thought that suited my fabric better. And also this urn was supposed to be in black coffee, but I changed that to DMC 930, just because I thought it looked better. So, again, that was on 40 count Atomic Ranch in Blue Ridge. And I did a total of 1,858 stitches on that in February to finish that up. This was the project that I was doing at least 500 stitches a week on. I do have a decent amount of fabric left, so I will cut that off and use that for something else. Yeah, this was my 500 stitches a week to finish project. I worked on it a good bit last weekend at Barefoot Needle Arts and got it to needing just a little over 500 more stitches to finish, so I did that last night. So I will show you a little bit later what my next project that I'm going to be doing at least 500 stitches on a week to finish is. So that is my only verdict. And these were the flosses for that. I had these sitting here. This was the blue I was originally going to use for that urn, but it was a little not quite the right tone, and I had some 930 with me in another project, so I pulled that out and did that. But Chesapeake is what it probably doesn't show as well on the fabric. It's kind of a greeny, more of like a green that I did that in. Anyway, okay, so next up, cord and session. We will start with knitting because I cast on a couple of new projects that I was going to show you. First up is in a bag that looks kind of like leather, but it's fabric that my friend Peggy made me. This is a hat. The pattern is called Stash Busting Helix Hat. And I am making this with Malabrigo Rios in the color Paris Night, Denim, and Lettuce. And I like this pattern because what it does is the helix is, so you see this side, there's 2 strands hanging off, and this is 1 strand. Basically, you knit halfway across with 1 color, pick up the next color, and knit halfway across. And you have, so where the ends where you have 2 colors is where I knit across with 1 color, and I'm picking up the next color. So if you were, I don't know how to explain it, but so you don't have, so you see, this is where the side seam is. You don't have the jog as really because you're kind of knitting. You can best see it probably right here where you see the green is above that. So you're really kind of knitting in a circle, and you don't end up with that jog on a hat where you change colors. I'm knitting the body of the hat on US 8, which is a 5mm. I think I wrote it down. Yeah, US 8s. The ribbing was done on US 6, which is a 4mm. And you can knit this, I mean, you can knit the ribbing a lot wider if you want one that you fold up. I'm just trying to use up some stash, and this hat will probably be donated somewhere unless somebody in my life sees it and wants it. And then the other one is in the Flying Sock Monkey bag from, I think this is Silver Shed USA. Yeah, the Silver Shed USA on Etsy. And I finally cast on another pair of socks. So I am using Lollipop Yarns Quintessential Base in the colorway Mood. And it has just a gray for the heels, and I don't do the toes, but I probably will use that for the heel. And I cast these on last weekend at the Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat, and that's as far as I've gotten. I do all of my socks toe up, 2 at a time, on US 0 2mm needles. Sorry, that word. Okay, at least it's the acronym facing you, not the word. It's got a bad word on the other side. So I have not gotten through a full color repeat of that yet, but as you can see, there's some green coming up, and there's more gray, and so I got those started. And I have worked a little bit on my corner to corner blanket I showed you last time, and a little bit on my zigzag scarf, but neither one is looks much different other than just a little bit more on them, so I'm not going to pull those out. So that is everything for the knitting. We will move on to the cross stitch. If you're new here, as I talk about my cross stitch, what I will do is I will put a picture up of what the pattern will look like when it's finished, and then if it is not a new start, I will show you a picture at some point of what it looked like the last time you saw it. So first up is in this Ruth Bader Ginsburg bag from Lynn at X Stitch Creates. This is Kingdom of Books. I bought this as a kit, and I'm doing it on the kit 14 count Aida with the kit floss as called for. 3 strands for most of it. This is my full coverage piece that I am trying to finish this year. So I'm doing at least 3,000 stitches a month on it right now, trying to get a little bit ahead before a really crazy time at work. But hopefully it will be finished by the end of the year. So I have done, this is where it is. In February so far, I have done 1,175 stitches. All pretty much as you can see there, and it is currently at 61.9%. I started this about August 31st of 2016. Then it languished for quite a few years till about 21, 22, where I started working on a little bit. But last year I really did a lot on this, so that will hopefully be finished by the end of the year. And it's the one that you will see all year long. So I'm going to be trying to be good and put stuff up as I go this time, but this one has a lot of floss, and it didn't want to go in there right. so I don't have quite such a mess when I get done. Next up, my whip go for the month, the numbers called were 7 and 8. My whip go board this year is I took several of my older full coverage projects, and the goal is to get 5% done on them this year. It turned out that this month, both 7 and 8 were Mini the 10th, which is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, based on artwork by Mandy Manzano. I think that's how you say that. This is in a Doctor Who bag that I made. And so with both numbers being called, that means I need to do a total of 2,600 stitches on this month. This is where it currently is. I have done 1,101 stitches so far this month. I do almost all of my full coverages are on 25 count Lugana, most of them easy grid. If it is something other than 25 count, I will tell you, even if it's not easy grid, there's a couple, but for purposes of this one, other than this one is 25 count. This is currently at 7.2%. I started this August 13th of 2023. Next up, I Zoom once a month with Pam from Stitch New England, who also has a YouTube channel called Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. And she does a Hawkrun Hollow Zoom for anybody working on any of the Hawkrun Hollows. This is in a bag from Sherry So Sweet. And I am working on, this is Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. I am doing this on 40 count Fiber on a Whim Heather. I started this September 2nd of 2023. I am working on the second block. So what I got done this time was most of the right side of that heel and the words on that tombstone, and just barely in that. We were debating whether they were snakes climbing up the hill or worms under the ground. I think the general consensus was they were snakes climbing up the hill, although there was one strong argument or support for the worms under the ground. But I think they're snakes climbing up the hill because they actually have like little eyes and stuff, but it's not clear to me. I did a total of 511 stitches on this, and it is currently at 8.8%. Okay, next up are my temperature stitching projects. I have 5 projects that I do that each are assigned 2 numbers. So every Sunday I look at the projected temperatures for the next week, Monday through Sunday, and take the last digit of that projected temperature, 0 through 9. And then I have 5 projects that are each assigned to 2 numbers. So like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and however many times that comes up, I do times 100 stitches. So, so if it comes up once, I do 100. If it comes up 3, I do 300, etc. on that project. It's just a way to kind of randomly decide how many stitches you're going to do on some projects so they get steady work. This is I just started this 1st of December, so I'm still on my first grouping of projects, although one of them is getting ready to be done to its 2,000. I keep one in the rotation until I've done 2,000 stitches on it, and then I will substitute it with another project. This is in this bag, also by Lynn X Stitch Creates. And this is a Tisket a Tasket by Rosewood Manor. I started this May 1st of 2022. It is on 36 count Be Stitch Me in the colorway Not Another Sampler. I am doing this 2/2 because I like the kind of plumpness. 36 count, I sometimes do 1/2, sometimes I do 2/2. It depends on the pattern, and this one to me needed the plumpness of the stitch. Since you last saw it, I have done 425 stitches on this. It's currently at 33.5%. And this only gets one more call of 100 stitches before I will reach 2,000 on this. So we will see. I mean, if it gets, I haven't done next week's numbers yet, but if it gets, say, more than 200 call on it, I will probably go ahead and figure out the next pattern and do some of that on the new one rather than all on this one. So if it only gets, like, say, 200, I'll probably just do the extra 100 stitches on that. Whereas if it gets called for like 400, I'll probably just do the 100 and do the other 300 on a new one. Hope that makes sense. Because I don't tend to stop exactly at 100 or 200 stitches. I had finished my thread, so I'm sure that I've already got, if I just did 100, I would be over 2,000 already. Next up is in this bag by the Brass Button. This is Blue Ridge. This is a smaller full coverage piece that is charted by CrossStitch.com based on artwork by Derek McRae. There is a part thread on this one because, well, I'll tell you. So I started this May 28th of 2022. This is where it is. I've done 220 stitches since you last saw it. It's currently at 12.5%. Despite what I just said about finishing the thread, because the full coverage stitches are tinier and I get a lot more from a thread. If I am stitching a thread and I hit the 100 or 200 or whatever, I will finish the little kind of row or section I'm working on, but not necessarily the thread on my temperature stitching. Now, like on Minnie the 10th, I'm going to finish the thread, but on the temperature stitching where I have like 100, you know, just say 100 stitches to do, I will just finish whatever row I'm working on and stop there rather than completely finishing the thread. It all makes sense in my head. Sorry if it doesn't make sense in yours. That's my like 2-3 project. My 4 or 5 project is in this bag made by my friend Michelle. This is Cardinal Points, which is a pattern by Long Dog Samplers that was done for the Gentle Art floss. And I started this March 8th of 2022. I'm doing it on 36 count white Zweigart with the called for Gentle Arts floss. And this one has gotten 444 stitches since you last saw it. It is currently at 26.1%. And I think that one's getting close as well. Not quite as close as a Tisket to Tasket, but I think I only need about another 300 stitches on that to get to the 2,000. Next up is in this bag by Whip It Up. Love that. This is Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. I started this January 8th of 2022. And I'm doing it on 28 count Picture This Plus Nocturne. Since you last saw it, I have done 333 stitches. I think I for a while I was working on that moon, but now I started kind of working on the horse's head and mane. So I think that's most of where those 300 stitches went. Maybe a little bit more in the moon. I can't remember exactly. This is currently at 41.5%. And I'm doing this one in the called for Anchor Floss. And it has a little bit of chronic, and that moon is actually a Karen Water Lilies. And then the last of my temperature stitching is in this bag from the Brass Button. This is Winter White Santa by Mirabilia. I started this January 15th of 2022. I'm doing it on 32 count XU Design Little Dove. And this one just got 106 stitches. Basically this area right down, sorry, the bottom of the base, that dark green at the base, the tree, and a little bit above that is what I did on it. This one is also 2/2. Sleepy Hollow was 2/2. My preference now for most projects is 40 count 1/1. Although I do sometimes do, well, you'll see from this next one, I do sometimes do something different just because of the size I want or the type of project it is or that sort of thing. This next, that's all the temperature stitching. The next one is my new start. This is in a bag made by my friend Anne, and I'll show you the front of it here in a minute, but I got to take this stuff out for you to be able to see. Dragonflies, sparkle vinyl, and there's dragonflies on it. She and I both love dragonflies. This was my new start at the Barefoot Retreat, and it's the one I told you last time I was going to start something from the Pigeon Coop in the Forest book, and I did in fact start Winter Walk. Got a giant piece of fabric here because I'm probably going to do a couple on here. I am doing this on 14 count Aida white because I figured that made it a little bit more portable and not portable, but easy to stitch out. Excuse me, my eye's itching. Out and about somewhere, not having to be, you know, at home with my strongest reading glasses and my bright lights and all that stuff. So I started this Friday of the Barefoot Retreat, which was February 7th, and that's where I got. I did 867 stitches, which is 27.9%. So these are not, the other reason I'm doing it on 14 count is these are not very big pieces. I think this one is like 60 by 80. So, and this one only has about 2,200 more stitches. So I decided that actually I'm going to keep this one out, and this is going to be the next one I'm going to do at least 500 a week on until it's finished. Because I think it's going to stitch up pretty quick, and I really just don't want this one to languish for a long time because it's not a huge piece. So before I pull up one of my older projects to finish, I'm just going to go ahead and knock this out over the next couple weeks. I think probably that I will, you know, that I'll have at least a week or so where I'll do more than 500, and I'll probably knock it out in about 3 weeks is my guess, if that. It just depends on how much I have to work and how much stitching time I have. So that is all the cross stitch. On the docket, I need to finish my stitches on Kingdom of Books. I need to finish my stitches on Minnie the 10th for Whip Go. I still need to do at least 600 stitches on Anzac. I'm probably going to try to go ahead and do 1,200 and get March's stitches knocked out of the way. I'm going to try to keep up with temperature stitching, although this being the first, the first really full, strong week back at work where I had a couple nights where I worked a little late, it was a little harder to get all that done. So I have a feeling come March, the temperature stitching may just kind of cease for a couple of months. We'll see. Because while I like the temperature stitching, I don't want to not keep up with the other bigger goals that I've kind of set. And, you know, I tried to keep my goals lesser, not as time consuming this year. But I don't want the ones that I did set to fall by the wayside because I'm trying to keep up with temperature stitching. So, and as I mentioned, I'm going to work on Winter Walk as my stitch to a finish. So, anyways, I'm going to pause for just a minute. Won't be long for you, and get my stuff organized for stashing for retirement. And I'll be right back. Okay. Before I get to actual stashing for retirement, I was going to show you a few little things that were like Stitchy Kindness and stuff from the Barefoot Retreat. And actually one thing from the Stitch and Thrift Retreat in January that I wasn't able to go to because I had the stomach flu. And this is the pattern that we got, and you can't see it. It says, when nothing is sure, everything is possible. I think somebody posted a picture to the Facebook group of it done, so I will, if I can find it, I will post a picture here of what it looked like. And it came with, they gave us a few beads to go on it. So my friend Peggy had brought me that. At the barefoot retreat, I got a couple of gifts. Somebody left these at our table. I'm not sure who, but thank you, whoever that was. And Yvonne at my table made these cute little floss drops with, well, it's not, I guess it is a floss drop, sorry. I'll get my glasses on, because it's got like the comb, but then the first one says project. So I guess that's just to label what project the floss is for. But anyway, that was really cute. And Angela, who was at my table, made us these lovely little either like scissor fob or bag, you know, scissor, not bag, zipper pull, whichever way you want to use it. And actually, I don't need to put that back in the bag because I need to figure out where to put that on. And then my friend Peggy gave me some lovely, like, Stitcher's hand lotion, but that's still in a bag somewhere. I forgot to get that out. Julie gave me, actually, sweet Julie gave me 2 bags. I think she made me a bag, not realizing I would be at her table. And so then she also gave me, like, the little bag. So I'm going to take my glasses off. The little bag that she had made for everybody at the table, too. So I got doubles of some of these, which were all stuff I use. So I got 2 Post-it pads. Some floss. I think, well, this was in my bag that she gave everybody. I don't know if everybody got the same colors, like a black and a white. And then the one she had given to me had some blues in it. So she obviously has watched my channel and knows how much I love blue. Julie is a regular watcher of my channel. Hello, Julie. Yes, I'm talking about you again. And she is also one of the ones that's stitching Nature's Peace with me and Beth from Steadfast Stitcher. And then also some 3D floss drops. 3D printer floss drops. And I don't know, Julie, if you bought these or if you had them made. But so these that were kind of thicker, and I don't remember. And then these have the kind that you can like put the DMC label on. So, whoops, drop that one. I will get that in a minute. Some Burt's Bees lip balm, which is one of my favorites, and a pen. And then also some, a needle threader. And some little flower zipper pulls. I have 3. I don't know which ones were in which bag. So I've got a blue. Actually, I think the blue one was in the bag that she made for me. And then I had these 2 in my table gift bag. And the all-important Kleenex. So it was a great little handy little bag. There was also some Dove chocolate in there and some mints. The Dove chocolate is long gone. And the mints I have put where I'll pick them up and eat on them. So, so that was it, I think, for like Stitchy Kindness. Hey y'all, different perspective here. Sorry, because I was putting stuff away and realized that I forgot to show you the Barefoot Needle Art swag that we got from Barefoot. I had it kind of sitting over here on the floor and I just totally overlooked it. So we got this backpack cooler. So it's a backpack, but it's also a cooler bag inside, which was really cool. And inside we had several goodies. We had this tin with a, used to get like stray strands of floss after you've had the frog off, and a needle minder. And the interesting thing is she 3D printed, so the magnet's inside that. So on the outside, you don't see the magnets. That's pretty cool. And then sorry, it's put on with a glue dot so it wouldn't slide around, a Frogger. So, that was in there. Sorry. And we got a little Barefoot Needle Art thing to go on your key ring that has chapstick in it. We got a pack of floss drops from Cottage Cat and also a thread waxer that is beechwood scented. And all of Heidi's floss drops come with a one of those cord-like rings to put it on. And then we got a needle minder that says Beach Retreat February. Oh, no, it's not a needle minder. It's an enamel pen. Beach Retreat February 2025. I think that's it. Yeah. So anyway, so that was really cute. They usually give, you know, one kind of substantial size gift in addition to the pattern with some odds and ends. And I will stick this video in with where it goes with the rest of the stuff. So, this is the pattern that we got as the retreat pattern. It was designed by Finally a Farm Girl, who was supposed to be at the retreat, but unfortunately was sick, so she was not able to come. But Stitchy Linda, who also does videos with her, brought her trunk show and all the stuff, you know, that she was going to bring herself. So, but so really cute pattern. I like it. I'm not as much of a beachy stitcher, so I don't know when I will get around to doing that. But for now, I'm going to hang on to it and see if the mood will strike me. Sorry, trying to figure out where that'll put that, where I can put that it won't slide. Couple things I bought at the retreat. Oh, what is that? I've got a couple of 2025 charms, and I'm not sure where they came from. I don't know if they were in one of the... I pulled a bunch of stuff out of goodie bags, and I don't know if this was something that was a retreat gift or what. But there's some 2025 charms. Sorry. If somebody gave me these, I apologize that I don't know who gave me those. That might have been something that somebody left on the table or something. I don't know. Anyway, Heidi from Cottage Cat Creations was there, and you know I cannot resist her floss drops, so I got some floss drops from her. I got these patriotic ones, and there are other designs in here, but that'll just give you a sense of the theme. I bought these purples. Blue and yellow flowers. And then she had kind of a retreat ones of beach dogs. So I had to get those. And then I also bought one of her, let me open this. Sorry for the crinkling. Should have taken this out ahead of time. She makes thread books, you know, so like the Thread Keeper. So, I'm going to set that aside before I show you. You know, so you got the thing to put your partially used threads on. These are hard-backed, you know, she does them hard-backed. She's got the felt. They have a little, there's are they magnets? Yeah. Magnets at the corners so that it stays closed. But the other thing that she does, two things. One, she puts a piece of vellum in so that you can put it so your stitches on both sides don't stick to each other when you close it. That's one thing. And two, genius, because I only bought one because I don't use these a lot. Because, you know, if I've got like 3 blues, how to remember what's what? Stickers. I mean, it's sort of obvious, but it didn't occur to me. She gives you some stickers that you can like write the name of the floss on to stick on here for whatever, you know, so that you can set the floss near it and remember what's what. And of course, you know, since it's just felt, they stick fine, but they are easy to take off too. They don't fall off, but they're easy to take off. So I bought one of those just to see if I would use it a little more. And of course, it's really cute. She's got like lace to be the hinge. And the, is that fabric? Sorry, I can't focus on anything without my glasses. I'm not sure if that is fabric or paper, but it's very, it doesn't feel like paper. If it is fabric, it is very tightly put on there. So I'm not sure if it's paper or fabric, but either way, very well made. My friend Peggy had one that she had bought ahead of time, and she bought a couple more of those. But, and then there's like the Barefoot Needle Arts haul. So, I did not buy a lot of patterns. I bought a lot of fabric. and a couple of patterns from the Finally Farm Girl truck show that once I saw the models, I was like, yeah, I kind of want that. And then a couple random things. So I picked up 2 skeins of Cottage Garden threads in kind of fall colors to do one of the Primrose Cottage, you know, Quakers. I don't know which one I want to use them for, but I just picked them up. Amy has a 3D printer, and she makes the magnetic things for holding like the mill hills, the perforated paper. So I got 2 sizes of that because I want to get back to doing mill hills regularly. I had ordered before and had them just hold till I got there this mill hill buttons and beads waterfall. Is that what it's called? Yeah, waterfall. So that was in my package for me to pick up. And then I'll show you I got a lot of fabric, but I was going to try to show you them with fabric. So I got these 2 patterns from Finally a Farm Girl. First one is Dear Soldier. And I've looked at this pattern before because I stitch a lot of patriotic and I like it, but I wasn't sure that I really would do this pattern. I like it. I just wouldn't try to do the whole thing. But what I decided was that what I will do is that part. The rest of it, there's nothing wrong with it. I like it okay, but I just wouldn't do that whole thing, but I will do that as like a small. So, and then this one is Let Freedom Ring, a patriotic sampler snack. And that one, this one, I was going to try to block it off, but I don't think I can really. Get my other hand free. So this one, I will not do the alphabet up. I will do the houses, the Let Freedom Ring, the flag, probably the USA, and I will do the bottom border. And I may or may not bring this top border down. I will probably wait until I'm done. I'm not going to do the 1776 probably. I don't know. I may or may not. I'm not sure. I think I will do this one down here. If so, I may do that top border with the 1776. But I will get rid of the alphabet and I will not do the side borders. So, hopefully that makes sense. I was talking to Maria at the retreat, and she was telling me, I mean, she actually paid me a really good, nice compliment, because she said it was watching my video that she had been kind of in a stitch and rut and not really want to do anything, and watching me and other floss tubers made her realize that she didn't have to do the pattern as written. She could make changes and only do part of a pattern, and you know, things like that. And she said that really made her think differently about her stitching and get back into the stitching. And that's one thing, you know, that I like, that Dear Soldier pattern. I had seen that, but when I was looking at the pattern online, I couldn't quite, I was having a hard time separating it in my head. But when I saw this stitched model, I was able to go, you know what, I really like that part. And again, that's not to say that this is not beautiful. It's just not the whole thing that I want to stitch. So anyway, so I bought those 2 patterns. The rest of this from Barefoot is all fabric. But it's not the last patterns. I have some more stuff. Let's show you the Barefoot stuff. So, and I'm going to have to put my glasses on because I don't even know what some of these are yet. Some of these have a purpose and some of them don't. This is 28 count Lugana from Mystic Fabrics in Purple Posies. No idea. Just liked the purple. So, don't know what it will be used for. Just thought it was really pretty. This one is 20 count Ada from Atomic Ranch in Vapors. I'm trying to, I want to build up a little bit of an Ada stash. I don't have as much Ada, and this is just a good neutral gray. I have Vapors. I have something on Vapors in a linen, but I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. So, this does have a plan. This is 32 count linen from Barefoot Needle Art in Stormy Seas, and it is not quite, you know, as normal. It is looking a lot more, there's a lot of modeling in it, but it's not as stark a contrast in real life as it is showing on the video. This is going to be, and I think, did I get a fat half of this? Yes, I got a fat half of this because I liked it. This is going to be used for Flossability's Cabin in the Woods, which I may or may not start sometime this spring. We'll see. This one is 16 count Ada from Atomic Ranch in Juniper. I am going to use this for one of the In the Woods pigeon coop patterns. There's a couple that are done with green as the background, where the green of the fabric is in negative space to be part of the design. So that's going to be used for that. And then this one is Atomic Ranch Clover in 28 count linen. I have no idea. Heidi from Cottage Cat Design was walking around with a piece of this in her hand. And while green is not usually what I gravitate to, this was just too pretty. I had to go grab a piece of it. So, no idea what's going to be used on that, but we'll figure it out at some point. And then, last but not least, the trunk show for fabric was Millennium Fabric. Sarah, who is from Pulaski, Virginia. I told her I actually knew where Pulaski, Virginia was. So I got some of her fabric, and I think all of these are Ada. Again, I'm trying to build up a little bit of an Ada stash. This is 18 count Ada in the colorway Neptune, and I haven't taken these out of the bag yet, sorry, because the size and label on them is on the bag, and so I don't want to take them out until I get them in my storage with the label otherwise, without, where I label on the, like, comic book cardboards. This is 18 count Ada in Robin Egg. I bought a piece of this color in linen at North Meets South from her. And I haven't used it yet, but I really love it. So I bought an 18 count Ada in that. And then 18 count Ada in Sparrow, which is just kind of a good tan neutral. Sorry for the glares. So that was all about it barefoot. I do have a couple other things that I have bought otherwise. This one is because of the barefoot retreat. I was at the retreat and somebody was walking around with a shirt on, and I can picture her, but I'm sorry I cannot think of your name. I don't know if you watch or not, but if you do, thank you for this. And I had to have the shirt, so she showed me where the Etsy shop was that she ordered it from. It is, I can't remember the name of it, but I will put it across the screen, and if I remember, we'll put a link to it below. Because she had both stitching and some, I think, knitting t-shirts. But this is the one I had to have. Grand Marshal of the Whip Parade. I thought, given that I have 93 projects, that was appropriate. So I ordered that, and that got here this week. Very fast shipping. I ordered that Friday or Saturday from my phone. That night, I had a Etsy conversation telling me it had been sent to the, I mean, it's one of those where she does the designs and then has somebody that prints them on demand. And so I had a message through Etsy that night saying it had been sent to the person who produces it. And it was here Wednesday or Thursday of this week. So very quick turnaround and shipping. And then I got... So I told you last time that 123 Stitch had sent me notices that a couple of Plum Streets that had been out of stock were back in stock. So I got those. This is A Gentleman's Daughter, which is from, is that Pride and Prejudice, or I'm drawing a blank whether that is from Pride and Prejudice or from, pretty sure it's Pride and Prejudice. It's He is a Gentleman and I am a Gentleman's Daughter. So far we are equal. Pretty sure that's Pride and Prejudice. It's definitely Jane Austen, but I've read all the Jane Austens and I think it's Pride and Prejudice. Also got Hello Spring. I showed you last time I had the other three. That was the one I didn't have. And I got the Summer Salt boxes from the Salt Shakers. I had the other three, which I showed you last time. So those arrived. I also mentioned this last time. I ordered... Helen D had shown this from Erin Elizabeth, this is a pattern exclusive to the Crafty Grimalkin in Maine. This is called Wandering Moose. I ordered that, And I also got the called for dinky dies, which you can get from a kit as a like set from them. But they do give the DMC numbers if you would prefer to just use DMC. And then, oh, these are the one, some more Plum Hill Street. I was trying to figure out where these came from. These were the other patterns I had ordered from the Country Sampler. And I think I mentioned last time I was wondering where that order was. Right after I said that, I mean, right after I did that video, I had an email from them telling me they were waiting on, there was one pattern that they were waiting on to come from the distributor, and that as soon as they got it, they would ship my order. So it was kind of funny that I think I asked last time, does anybody know, is that normal? Anyway, so more Plum Street. I'm anxiously waiting to see what her patterns are going to be for market. Crone on the Hill. And, you know, these are not, like, this one's 2018. These are not new patterns. They're just, you know, I've been on a tangent to get all these Plum Street patterns that I've loved before I can't get them anymore. Spring Moon. I already have Summer Moon and Winter Moon. I'm hoping eventually there will be an Autumn Moon, Fall Moon, something like that. And then a Yuletide Welcome. So I got all those in. This one is 2012. That's an older one. I mean, you can tell by her older packaging. So that is it for Stashing for Retirement. No digital patterns this time. And I think that's pretty much it for everything. Calendar, I don't have... Oh, I do have one thing planned. I am planning to go to... I think they call it the Down East Retreat. It's a one-day retreat in Greenville, North Carolina in late March. Stitch, I think they call it Stitch East, maybe. I can't remember exactly what they called it. So I will be at that on March 29th, I think it is. That is the only thing I have definitely planned. I did register for the October beach retreat. But other than the March retreat, that's all I've got planned between now and October. So, you know, work's going to be busy, so I just don't plan a lot in long session years. Although I am still on the wait list for the Chatelaine retreat, and I have, you know, still crossing fingers that I might get into that last minute since I'm semi-local to that. But anyway, I think that's it. I feel like I should be saying... Oh, I know one other thing I was going to tell you that I didn't tell you last time. I showed you that I had gotten my digital subscription of Just Cross Stitch Magazine Spring. I didn't. I just showed you the cover page of it. But what I forgot to mention last time is that Barefoot Needle Arts was the, like, shop spotlight in there. So if you get Just Cross Stitch Magazine, check that out. I am actually in one of the pictures in there because they took the pictures the weekend I was there for 24 Hours Cross Stitch back in October. But, you know, don't go see it because I'm in there, but go read about Barefoot Needle Arts if you've never been. And if you are ever in the Myrtle Beach area, definitely go and check them out. So, and I think I got, somebody tell me, I haven't had a chance to message you yet. I got shared something in Instagram earlier today that I meant to go investigate, but I was doing something and I forgot. But at Memphis Sarah E., I don't know if you're watching this or not, are you buying your local needlework shop? I think she might be. So if you don't watch Memphis Sarah E., go check her out because I think she may be making some announcements soon. If I have totally messed that up and that's untrue, I apologize for spreading rumors, but I'm pretty sure that's the gist of what I got from what I got shared on Instagram. So anyway, I think that's it. I will talk with you later. Probably be back the first weekend in March, like March 1st, 2nd, because I think February ends on like a Friday. So other than that, I will talk to you later. Hope everybody's doing well. There's a lot of sickness going around. So if you get it, rest up and hopefully get better. And until next time, I'll talk with you later. Bye, y'all.